Hello everyone, this is N5WXW. Welcome back to my channel, and this is part 2 of my rotator rebuild. And as you can see, I've got everything broken down to just the internal motor, the two connection components that actually turn. We're going to be cleaning out the inside there. You can probably see a good bit of the rust and grease buildup. We're going to be cleaning all that out. We've got the ball bearings over here that we're going to be working with and pulling all of those apart. As you can see, it looks like from what I can tell, this certain rotor looks like it's set up for a good while. It's got a lot of rust on the bearings, so we're going to clean those out and get a little bit of a before and after image of what it looks like. What I've also got to do after this project is build another wire connection to go from the controller to the rotor, because whoever had this one before me decided to cut it off right at the rotor and right at the actual controller. So a couple of the tools that I had was just two flathead screwdrivers, and I believe this was an 8mm wrench as well as a 12mm wrench, where worked perfectly to kind of pull everything apart. But all of the tips and instructions that I've looked at when searching online was just basically to pull everything apart and clean everything internally and externally without really messing too much or interfering much with the electricals. But also while you have the rotor pulled apart, check to make sure all of your soldering connections in the top and bottom are connected as well, just to make sure. Before I pulled this apart, I did test it to make sure that it does rotate. It just has a lot of noise to it, which is usually from age and a little wear and tear to it. And you can probably hear the thunder behind me. We've had a couple thunderstorms today, so there's a couple off in the distance, but when I looked at radar earlier, it looked like they were going to pass. This is another significant piece that we're going to be restoring and kind of cleaning up. You can see the orange rust, and there's just a lot of the powder in there, and this is kind of where those ball bearings turn. So this is going to be something that we'll be cleaning really well as the bolts too. Just going to go ahead and do a complete overhaul of this system. This is an old CDE system. I'm not exactly sure what the number is on it. When I did look it up, it did say that it was a small antenna rotator or rotor. But it's nothing big, but it could handle small grade antennas. So we're going to get started here and see if we can get everything all cleaned up. Mainly a lot of this cleaning, from what I've seen and read, a really good chemical to use is regular brake cleaner for these parts. I know a lot of these are aluminum, so this should really help clean out a lot of the rust and corrosion, if you will. There we go. A little bit more, but as you can see already, just using the brake cleaner in here, kind of really just rubbing in the groove there of where these bearings have been used. And as you can see, just by looking at that, the difference. So as you can see right here, we've actually cleaned it off, and I've actually found the number of what rotor this is. This is a CDE TRA-4. So again, if you look that up, you're going to find it's a small antenna, or even a TV antenna rotor, which could have been used for that, but that's also good for smaller ham antennas as well. So I think we've got that wrapped up. Grab a little. Also decided to get a little sandpaper here, just to kind of work my way into the just a light sandpaper here to kind of work into some of the harder places that maybe the on the main rotor assembly here, there is a piece that comes out that's also part of the stop right here, and on the top we have the indicator that shows what direction it's turned. So we'll take this little piece off here and also clean it as well. It's got a lot of grease on it. We're going to re-grease everything and put new grease on it. There's not a whole lot on there, so definitely going to guess that that is part of a lot of the noise that we're getting. Alright, so that's been cleaned. Let's also clean the inside here of our main housing. Alright, so now we've got everything back together. We've got everything greased up, especially on the inside, and cleaned out. We'll do a little bit of the cosmetic work to the outside later on, and just kind of clean things up a little bit. But now we're going to take it inside to the quote shack and see if see if we can get this thing to work again, and see if it's a little bit quieter.
Now we're back here in the shack. We've got the rotor on the left, a controller for it on the right. Let me turn this so you can get a little bit better look. It's a CDE. It's got transmit, receive, direction control panel. You've got your brake release, and then you push either left or to go right. And you've also got a calibrate button right here, and your on and off switch. Right now we've got it off right now. And as I was mentioning earlier, right now the previous owner actually cut the line, so I do not have any other line to it except for this, but for testing purposes we're just going to temporarily connect each color to each color. So in just a second, once we get those connected, we'll test it and make sure that everything works properly here. Alright, now that we're inside and I've had to take the actual rotor apart a couple of times because I did not mark it, I do want to remind you, if you do take on the challenge of overhauling a rotor like this, or if you do take it apart, make sure that you mark with a permanent marker the bottom and top sections to make sure you remember where it was that you actually had them before you took them apart. That way it's easier for when you put it back together. But I've already tested it and calibrated the actual meter here. As you can see, we're straight at north right now. But how you operate this is you just turn on the controller here, the CDE controller, then press the brake release, and then turn it whichever direction you want to go, either to the left or to the right. So here we go. And this is a lot less noisy than when I first had it. It was very, very noisy at first, and I think it sat up for a while. So this is definitely a lot more quiet than originally. So it may not be the best or the quietest, but it's definitely a lot better and definitely operational. Alright, well that's it. That's the full restoration from inside, and we're going to do a little to the cosmetic work to the outside as well before we put this outside. But make sure to follow my YouTube channel at N5WXW and tune in for later videos.